everyone, it's Kim, the study abroad specialist. I just wanted to pop on here today. I think that's something that I'm going to start doing every week, maybe a little bit more often, but over on Instagram, if you have not followed me on Instagram, please definitely do that. I will link the Instagram information below. But over on Instagram, a lot of times in my DMs, I will get, based on like what I share on stories, I'll get what I call like question of the week. And a lot of times it'll be overlapping. So it's like different people who definitely don't know each other. I know they don't know each other will ask me similar things. And so as I've been seeing these themes, I was like, this might be interesting to put together on my YouTube channel to just sort of, spread the information around a little bit. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and definitely join us here on this channel. I release videos every single Friday, sometimes on Wednesdays, and now a little bit randomly throughout the week. So definitely look out for those. But I think that this might be nice just to kind of get some more questions answered that I don't always get to go through. So this next question is, should I study abroad with friends or not? Now, this question is a little bit tricky for me to answer because if you don't know by now, I'm a super individualist. So I'm very pro people kind of doing things on their own. It's probably just because I'm an only child and have always done things on my own. So it's like to do things in a group would be like, I don't understand how this works. But I do understand where it's coming from because most people are not like me, and that is great. Where it's like most people do like to do things with other people. And so when that sort of comes up, it can be tricky because, again, everyone is not going to be the same. Everyone does not come from the same circumstances. Everyone does not have the same thing going on. And so I would say that I often think about how I know that when a lot of people are going off to high school, coming out of high school and they're going to college or university, that they get into this weird spot where they're trying to figure out a cross between, how do I choose what is going to be best for me? And how do I choose what's going to work to sort of hang on to what I have now? And that can be a good and bad thing if you feel like it is right for you. I unfortunately have known several students throughout my life, whether it be in my personal friend group or just people that I have known that, for whatever reason, maybe they were in a relationship and they felt like, I need to choose the same school as my significant other because I want to keep the relationship going. Or, they were the only person out of their friend group that was applying to 10 different colleges and all their friends were going to one college. And they were like, if I don't apply here and go here, I'm going to be left out of the group. Or, maybe it was even something where they didn't want to disappoint their parents. Maybe their parents have been legacies at a school and they decide they didn't want to go there. That can be very tough. And I think that with study abroad, it's not really that much different because, again, like, most people don't want to be in a situation where they're not going to know anybody. It's not the best feeling all the time, where they're not going to know anyone and, they're going to have to spend a significant amount of time in a new country. And it, may not be fun without the people that they know. I would say that, as I always recommend, if you are someone who is really passionate about studying abroad with people that where you feel like there's going to be this built-in bond with people, that you definitely should just choose, an institutionalized / faculty-led study abroad program. If you don't know that much about that, I will go ahead and link a video and then some other resources that I've done about those types of programs below. So I definitely would recommend that first of all. So that is going to be a program that is run directly by your institution. And that works for a lot of people. And I would, highly recommend it, particularly if you are someone that you feel like you want that structure of what is currently happening at your school. You want to know people when you go, you want to know some of the professors or instructors when you go, and you feel like you're going to need that extra support right there with you of other people who who are studying abroad. I would highly recommend that. But if you are going off to do a different program, like a nonprofit program or an independent program, and let's say like you want to apply to a program in Spain, but your very, very, very best friend is applying to a program in Ireland, and then another good friend is applying to a program in Canada, and you feel like, well, we're not all going to the same place, and it's really unfortunate, but, the paths that we're on in terms of what we want to do and, further on in our career, those are not similar. And even though we're best friends, that doesn't change anything. It's like we are just on different paths. That I would say that you need to follow the path that's going to be best for you. So if that means that you're not going to be able to study abroad with your friends, then that is okay. Yes. Is it going to be intimidating? Absolutely. Is it going to be scary for you? Probably. Are you going to feel like you're left out of the loop because one friend is in Canada, one friend's in Ireland, and you're in Spain? Absolutely. That's how it's going to work. But you're going to be able to get the most benefit out of whatever you're doing. And it's not going to feel as if you're sort of either A, tagging along because it wasn't your idea, or B, just kind of, going through the motions of studying abroad just because. As I always talk about with you on this channel, study abroad is not something to be taken lightly. I know that, as much as it has been talked about, it is often glamorized, and there is a glamour part of study abroad. Absolutely. I mean, you get to travel to a new country and you get to sometimes walk down the street and hear new languages, and you get to try fancy new foods and, get to pass all these nice, beautiful, fancy new shops and all this stuff. And sometimes get to travel on the weekends. All that stuff is very exciting and very great. I've done it all. But at the core and the crux of what you are doing, you are there to study. And so if you are someone who, let's say you are a finance major and your friend is an art major and your other friend is going into medicine, and let's say you all want to do the same program, but the program does not really sway towards finance. It's much more targeted towards medicine or art. And they may have some, like maybe they have like one module that's about finance or something like that, but it's not going to be the best fit for you. That you should just say, I'm going to go off and do my own thing that's going to work best for me, because this is not going to be good for me. Even though, I would have a great time with my friends there and, I could learn about art or whatever it is. That's not what you are trying to head towards. That's not what you're interested in. And it would just be really unfortunate if you, number one, spent tons and tons of money, and also lots of your time and your energy was sort of spent on something that was not tailored to getting you to the next step of where you want to be. So when it comes to whether or not you should study abroad with friends, I would say that the answer is yes, if you feel like you can justify that everyone is sort of going down the path that works for them. Keeping in mind, if it is general studies, that's a little bit different. But typically with study abroad, what you're going to be studying is usually very focused, and oftentimes it's focused based on where you're going. So again, if you're interested in fashion, you might be studying in France, or you might be studying abroad in New York. If you're interested in, art or theater, it could be somewhere like Florence, or it could be, somewhere else. But it's like, that's just an example. But if it's like a general study abroad, maybe that does work for everyone to do it. But if it is something that is very targeted and very specific, and that, there's only a few spots left on this one program, and my friends are probably not going to apply for it, but I definitely want to go for it, that I personally would recommend that, even it's not going to be forever. They're still going to be your friends. You can still Snapchat and TikTok, and I don't know what else you Gen Zers do. I'm an old millennial here, but you can still do all those things with them, but that you really have to carve out your own path. This is the time, similarities and sort of the everybody gang together and do the same thing. That is cute in, middle school and sort of, younger school. It's even kind of cute in high school. But once you kind of start making that transition from like high school to college, you really have to go after it, and like whatever it is. I mean, I always tell people, like, don't be like me. Like, I can be super, super, super ruthless with opportunities. That is why, I'm not trying to brag here, but my resume is like 5 pages long, because I really just like, opportunity. But it's like, you don't have to be like that. But whatever you're doing, it's like, sometimes you're going to have to leave people behind. It doesn't mean that you have any, animosity for them. It doesn't mean that you have, any dislike for them, or that you're even judging them. That's the other thing. Like, don't judge someone else just because they're not doing what you're doing. We can make a whole video on that. Like, you are on your own path. Everyone is on their own path, running their own race. But I would just say that you definitely want to sort of get into the mindset of, like, after you are, like 17, 18 years old, like, you really are charting your own course in life, and you really sometimes just have to block out what everyone else is doing and just go for yours. It really is important. I can promise you that, it is not always easy. It's not always comfortable. Sometimes you're going to feel super uncomfortable. Sometimes you're going to feel really stressed out about it, but it really is worth it. And so I want to know, are you planning to study abroad? And if you are in 2022 or 2023, are you planning to study abroad? If so, are you planning to study abroad with friends or not? I want to know about that. Have you and your friends, you probably have talked about it, but are you planning to apply for programs together or go together? Are you just all going at the same time, but you're going different places? If you're in this situation, please leave a comment below. I definitely want to hear about that. I always love different perspectives on that, because again, I know there are some people that is really important to them, and some people that they're like, hey, like, it's important to me to still be around my friends, but if there's a great opportunity over here, then here I go, and I will see them later. So I definitely want to hear about that. So leave a comment below. Please go ahead, as I mentioned before, and like this video and subscribe to the channel. And please definitely share this video, share it with your friends who are applying to study abroad, so that we can get the information out there and keep the conversation going. And I will see you in the next one.